Welcome to the Voice of Reason Sports Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the show, leave a comment, and click that like button. All right. So first of all, I was 5-10 last week. It's all good, but I made up for it this week. I went 13-3, and I would have had a better record if I would have just stuck with my mind when I said I felt the Seahawks could beat the Eagles, and I felt that the Bills could beat the Cowboys. Right? And I'm gonna stop picking those sad Falcons. What's that?
I said you didn't feel it hard enough to make the pick, though.
Well, I'll let you talk me out of it. You talked me out of both of those picks.
No,
Yeah,
you got to talk about both of those. Maybe the Cowboys, but not the other one.
You talked me out of Seattle. I was like, Seattle's at home. And I said a good team, and then I started thinking about it. Are they really a good team?
Yeah.
And I started questioning myself. But I should have went with the Seahawks. I had a feeling that the Seahawks will win this game at home. That's hard to do, to travel from the East Coast to the West Coast, to play at night in Seattle. They could have put me out there at quarterback, and I would have had a good chance to be in Seattle with the 12th man, and in that muggy weather. That's just too much for any team. You're not buying it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, you know
that
what?
Ain't what it used to be. It definitely ain't what it used to be.
Well, yeah. Well, the team isn't that good, but anyway, my picks were a lot better than yours. I was 13-3. You were 9-7. So
okay, trade off. Okay, little trade off.
We'll trade.
What was that this week? What was that last week?
Last week, I forgot what you were. It doesn't really matter. Who cares what you were last week?
I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying?
I don't have the notes in front of me. Who wants to talk about that?
Of course not. Of course not. What was that?
Huh?
What was that this past week?
I don't know. Go back and listen. Go back and listen to the last episode to figure out what it was.
No, I mean the week that just passed.
I know. I don't remember. Just go.
Oh, you only remember your 10-3. Your 10-3. Don't remember mine at all. It got mine written up. Oh, look at this.
Why would I want to remember that?
Look at this. You keep the stats, man.
Yeah. Well, I keep the stats when I'm doing well. That's how that works, man. The hell I want to keep the stats when I'm not doing. When I'm stinking it up.
Mathematics next week, man.
Yeah. All right. Go back and listen to the last episode. You can figure it out from that. Anyway, let's do our recap, man. All right, so we'll start with the Thursday night game. It was the Raiders at home against the Chargers. The Raiders won this game. I mean, this was a disaster for the Chargers. I mean, they flat out quit. I mean, in the first half, they flat out quit. It was 42-0 over the Chargers, and the game ended 63-21. What a statement game by Anthony. What's the coach's name?
Antonio Pierce.
I was going to call him Anthony Pierce. Antonio Pierce. Hopefully he gets the job. I think he deserves this job. He's told him he's been a Raiders fan since he was a kid, so he deserves this job.
I mean, 63-21. That's as impressive as Dolphins winning 70-20.
Yeah.
That's right there in that same area.
Yep.
So you gotta give him credit for it. And the reason why I was telling you that those last games against the Raiders might not be as slow as bad as you think it is. It might not be a gimme game for those teams that are playing them. They're playing for that coach right now.
Yeah.
Regardless of how bad the Chargers are right now, you score 60 points on somebody, you're doing good.
Yeah, that's an NFL team. No matter how bad Brandon Staley is, as a head coach with that much talent on his team. Yep. That's an NFL team. You put up 63 points on. So kudos to the Raiders for that win. You and I both went with the Raiders on winning this game, so we both got the win with that. All right. So we had 3 Saturday games. The first one was the Bengals versus the Vikings. This was a good game. It went into overtime, and the Bengals got the win over the Vikings, 27-24. You and I both went with the Bengals on this win. I don't know if you saw this game, but there was a point in the game where the Vikings had a pretty good shot of winning this game, or maybe it was just to kick a field goal. But they were on the Bengals side of the field, and they had like a third or fourth and short. They had a third and short. They tried to do the tush push. They didn't get it. Then went on fourth and short. They tried to tush push again, and they still didn't get it. And it set the Bengals up perfectly to go down the field to kick the game-winning field goal. So, Yeah.
Yeah, they were in overtime at that time.
Yeah, it was in overtime. So yeah,
Yep.
and Browning ended this game with 324 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. So my man is setting himself up for a nice payday next year with some other team.
Absolutely. Somebody gonna scoop him up for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well deserved once he get it. Hopefully he gets it.
Absolutely.
All right. Next we had the Colts at home against the Steelers. The Colts won this game 30-13. You and I both went with the Colts here. Yeah.
Thank you, Steelers, for putting me out the fantasy playoffs. I appreciate you. Jeez. I had them playing this week in my fantasy league, and of course, that 30 points did not help in a close game at all. But yeah, this was like Steelers are Tomlin's in jeopardy losing his job, man.
Why?
That's crazy. He keeps this up, he cannot lose like that to the Colts. Colts are not that good like that to be beating you 30-13.
But you got a legendary coach, a Super Bowl winning coach. He's trying to find his next quarterback, right? I think he realized
quarterback was drafted.
It's not the 2 guys on the team, right? I think we can say that. Oh, maybe it's the rookie. Maybe it's the guy that he drafted. He just needs another year to figure it out. I always say you got to give a rookie quarterback 3 seasons. So this is 2nd season. Give him 1 more season. I mean, you got a legendary coach. Give him the time. Why does it always seem that Black coaches don't get the benefit of the doubt, right?
Well, we can stop it with him because he's been there for 17 years.
That's true. That's true. Has it been 17 or 20 years?
I think it's been 17. I think it was.
But he's never had a losing season.
Never had a losing season.
Never had a losing season. You know, he's obviously he has to rebuild the team because he lost his great quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger.
That was about 3 years ago now, right?
That was 2 years ago, right? 2 or 3 years ago. That's right. They started out with Mitch Trubisky. They realized he wasn't a starter, and then they drafted one. So I think you got to give him time to rebuild the team. I think, I still, look back at the Bears. The Bears had Lovie Smith. Lovie Smith got fired after going 10-6.
Yeah, I remember that. That was terrible.
That was terrible. And the Bears have won double-digit games only once since firing Lovie Smith. So yeah, I just scoff at this talk of Tomlin being on the hot seat, with the potential.
Well, I think the thing is like, okay, they haven't really been relevant in the last like 4 years, 4 or 5 years. Even when they have been, they really haven't been relevant in the AFC.
You don't think so?
I think no, they haven't. When last time you remember them doing a playoff run? There was any significance.
I mean, I think that's a different question.
Yeah, well, that's why he's in the hot seat now after about 5 or 6 seasons of not being relevant. Yeah, you're going to start getting questioned. You can't just go 500 and say, okay, I'm good.
Well, I mean, I just feel like I've seen coaches with mediocre records been given the benefit of the doubt. I just don't understand why this legendary coach is being questioned. Yeah, okay, yeah. The last 2 seasons they've been 9-8, 9-7, but in 2020 they were 12-4.
They're 12. Okay, and did they go 1 and done?
Yeah, they went 1 and done. They lost to the Browns in the first round in the wild card.
Yeah, and that was Baker Mayfield, by the way.
Yeah, and then the following season they went 9-7 and they lost to the Chiefs in the wild card game. So I mean, yeah, that's been tough. I get it. I think he deserves more time. I think you give a coach like that because Bill Belichick might get another season, and right now he looks terrible.
Well, he's in the high seat too.
He should be.
He's in the high seat too, but he's in the same situation. Legendary coach who, since Tom Brady's gone, he hasn't been relevant.
But I mean, his situation,
his franchise quarterback has been there. It's been gone. He hasn't been relevant. Same situation as
his rebuild has been going terribly. He's 2-9 this season. He was 8-9 the season before. So you got to give him an opportunity to rebuild. So I would like
this is my thing though. You can't. They're not on the same level of coaching. I mean, I know he's been a great coach at the Steelers. He's been there 17 years. That's the only way you can be there 17 years. But they're
Right.
not on the same level. But they're in the same hot seat.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I think maybe next year, if this continues this way, or it gets worse, then he should be on a hot seat. I think
Yeah,
you still got to give him
and I
time.
really think that's what the problem is. People don't see in the future. Oh yeah, I see where you're going. Yeah,
Right.
you're going to get better, and
Right.
that's what the problem is. They don't
Right.
see on the other side the light at the end of the tunnel where they're
Like,
going to get out this kind of rut they're in right now.
right. And I think he's trying to correct the mistake that he made. Right. I forget the offensive coordinator's name. His last name was Canada. They fired him the middle of the season, right? And they're trying to redo things with this offense. And I think if you give Tomlin the opportunity to get a better offensive coordinator next year, or offensive coordinator that fits the players that they have, maybe things are improved. Because I think the defense is okay, could be better, but they got some stars on the defense. I think that they'll be a better team next year, but we'll have to see. I don't think he's going to get fired. That's my opinion.
Right. I'm not saying he should get fired. I just say I know he's on the hot seat. He needs to be careful because he can't have another season like this.
Well, he might have a losing season this season. So he lose 2 more games. That's a losing season. All right, let's go to the next game. Next slide. Lions at home against the Broncos, and you and I both. Well, no, I take that back. I went with the Lions. And for some reason, you went with the Broncos. I don't know why you went with the Broncos. The Lions destroyed the Broncos 42-17. They're just not on the same level.
They did, but here we go elevating the Lions again. They beat them, but
Man,
I
stop
still don't
it.
take the Lions like that.
You don't like the Lions got 10 wins on the season. They're going to win the division for the first time in like 30 years or something ridiculous.
Yay, Lions. I mean, what you want me when they have to, here we go again. When they have to play a team, of any kind of stature, what happens?
Well, that's true, but you know what? Look, my thing is always beat the teams you're supposed to beat. Beat the teams.
Okay, are they supposed to beat the Bears?
They're supposed to be the Bears, but the Bears are a division team, so that's always tough. But they put the Broncos on your schedule, they put the Panthers on your schedule, you're supposed to beat them, and you're supposed to beat them down. 42-17, that's beating them down. That's how you're supposed to do it. And you move on.
Okay, but if you're a good team, should you compete with the Ravens?
You should. You should. You should.
Okay. Should you struggle to beat the Chargers?
But look, let me ask you this: how long have I look at the Lions as an up and coming team. They haven't figured out how to beat teams like the Ravens yet. The Ravens have finally figured out how to consistently win. So I think the Ravens are at that. They're becoming one of those upper echelon teams. I think the Lions are more up and coming. So next year they'll know how to beat those good teams like the Ravens. This year, right. I don't think they figured it out.
Yeah, to be up and coming in their situation is kind of easy because they've been so bad.
Yeah.
But I'm still just not like a big believer in the Lions. They got to show me something, at least against a halfway formidable team.
But they beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, I guess so. The Chiefs are like, I mean, you beat the Chiefs on their worst year that they've had since the quarterback.
Right. Now, look, no, I agree with you. I agree with it, but that's why I say up and coming. This is their first year of really putting it all together.
That's fair to put them up and coming for sure. But we'll see. We'll see where they end up.
I think the Ravens are upper echelon team. The Ravens are like a Super Bowl contender for real. Like they got a real good shot of going to the Super Bowl this year and possibly winning it. Because I mean, I think the biggest challenge out of the NFC are the 49ers. So we'll have that argument later. I know you disagree with that, Cowboys fan.
Yeah, I disagree with that for sure.
All right, let's move on to the next team. We'll have that discussion later on this season. All right. Browns at home against the Bears. This was a good game. I watched this game, and Joe Flacco is like it's crazy how this dude just recently showed up and he has good chemistry with that team and those receivers, especially is it Njoku? the tight end.
The Njoku has livened up since
Njoku.
he's been there, man. He's actually been productive since Flacco's been there.
Yes. Yep. You're right. You're right. And yeah, you and I both went with the Browns on this, and the Browns came back to beat the Bears. I think the Bears were winning 17-3, and the Browns came back in the fourth quarter to score 13 points to win it 20-17. So
yeah, I don't even know what to say with that on the Bears. Bears had that game.
Yeah.
Every stretch of the imagination, and then the fourth quarter just collapsed.
But watching that game, the Browns were actually moving the ball. Flacco just had some bad passes, right? Which I think is more so because of, reps, chemistry, people are not where he was expecting them, or he's not throwing the ball where they were expecting it. So he threw 3 interceptions in this game. Mm-hmm. But he still made some great throws. That he threw one pass, he lofted over the defender's head to the tight end that set up the game-winning field goal at the end. So, yeah.
Right. And that was a bad weather game, too.
Yeah, it was. But Flacco threw for 374.
Yeah.
In bad weather. So, that's impressive.
That's very impressive.
Yeah.
He kept them in the game enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then took it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I give him credit on that.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the next one. So, we had the Packers at home against the Bucks. You and I both went with the Bucks on this one. Yeah.
Okay.
We both called this a bold pick because I think the Packers were 3.5 point home favorites, which I did not understand. I didn't get that. I didn't know what Vegas was thinking on that. And the Bucks went out and won this one 34-20. This wasn't even close.
Yes. They Baker just came out like he was the number 1 overall pick.
Right.
That's what he played like.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it all came together for him. He threw for 381, 4 touchdowns. He had an awesome game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think he's making himself as the franchise quarterback for the Buccaneers.
He might have earned himself a 2-year contract, 2 or 3 years.
Yep. Yeah.
We'll see how these last 2 games play out, but I think he's earned himself a contract.
Yep. Yeah, I think a long-term contract, right? Yep. I think more than 2-3 years. I think he might get a 4 or 5-year contract with the Bucks if he makes the playoffs and continues to play like this.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Okay. All right. Next, we had the Titans at home against the Texans. You went with the Titans. I went with the Texans. And the Texans squeaked this one out in overtime, 19-6.
Another game where they were up in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
And they let the Texans come back and tie the game up and take it to overtime.
Yep.
And then somehow the Texans, one of the on the worst side of rushing defenses in the league, were able to stop Derrick Henry.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I didn't even look at that. I was more interested in the fact that the Texans, Singletary, had 121 yards rushing.
Yeah.
I didn't even look at Derrick Henry.
Yeah, he's taking over that backfield over Dameon Pierce.
Yeah.
And Derrick Henry was non-existent. He wasn't there. I mean, he had 16 carries for 9 yards.
Wow. He was shut down. Wow.
Absolutely shut down.
And it's funny you mentioned Dameon Pierce because he's on my fantasy team, was on my fantasy team. I cut him because he's been stinking it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're kind of giving that backfield to Singletary now.
Yeah. All right. Next slide. We had the Dolphins at home against the Jets. You and I both went with the Dolphins here. This was no contest. 30-0. Dolphins. Yeah.
It's absolutely terrible. I can't believe Rodgers talking about coming back.
Right. Well, I heard he announced today that he's not going to be able to play this season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think
sense. Yeah, he finally came to his senses. It's like, this team ain't going nowhere. They're 5-9.
Stop all that nonsense. You ain't coming back torn ACL and
whatever.
That ain't happening.
Yeah. I mean, your career is almost over. So don't do that.
Yep.
All right. Next, we had the Patriots at home against the Chiefs. You and I both went with the Chiefs, and the Chiefs won it 27-17. So, yeah,
Yeah, and even in the win, I almost give the Chiefs a loss in this win. They did not look good.
They didn't.
They did
They
not look
didn't.
good at all.
Well,
Um,
yeah, I mean, they
those,
kind of
the,
finished them out in the third quarter. The second half, they took over.
yeah, they took over because the Patriots are so inept at scoring, like
Right.
they can score. But yeah, it was like it's just that they still making so many mistakes.
You're right.
They were still, and they scored one touchdown in the second half, which that's been their problem, not scoring touchdowns in the second half.
Right.
And the problem seemed like they continue.
So,
Um, Patriots weren't so bad, they might have lost this game.
yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. So is this the end of Bill Belichick? Do the Patriots decide to let him go at the end of the season, or do they give him one more season?
Well, I think they're afraid of doing that. They already they already let go their legendary quarterback and see how bad what happened with that and how bad they turn. Um, I think that Kraft is going to stick with him probably for like another 2 seasons.
I
And
agree.
if he cannot turn it around, yeah, he's gone after that.
Well, here's why I think Kraft is going to give him another 2 seasons, and he'll take the losses. I think one, the Patriots are going to get a high draft pick, so
Yep.
this gives Belichick an opportunity to get his franchise quarterback.
Yep.
And two, Belichick is close to being the all-time record for wins as a head coach in the NFL.
Mm.
He needs another 3 seasons to get there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I think Kraft is going to give him every opportunity to get that record because I think he wants him to get that record as a Patriot. That's
Yeah. I mean, it's hard doing that with you got Zappy and
right,
and Jones as your options at
right.
quarterback.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, more power to
yeah. Good luck.
him.
All right. Next one. So we had the Saints at home against the Giants. I went with the Saints, and somehow you went with Tony DeVito. Uh,
Yeah, I went with the I thought he was gonna be running around a little bit, but
he
he ain't
did
running
a
around.
little,
Yeah,
but he was beat up and bruised. I mean, the Saints sacked him 7 times,
yeah.
and
Every
they
time he
gave
went
him
back,
work.
he was getting thrown on. Yeah,
Oh
he was
yeah,
getting
and they took Saquon Barkley out of the game. I forget how many yards
yeah,
Saquon Barkley had. It wasn't much at all. They shut him
yeah.
down.
DeVito led the team in rushing.
Yep. Yep.
Saquon had 9 carries for 14 yards.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. 9 carries, 14 yards. And
Yeah,
DeVito had 4 carries, 36 yards. And he was
yeah,
sacked 7 times. And at one point, Tyrod Taylor had to come in the game for him because he took a big hit.
yeah. Complete
Yeah.
shutdown.
Yeah. Yeah. So not a chance. So
Nope.
good for the Saints. Hopefully we can win this division. It's going to be tough. I'll be rooting for them. So we'll see what happens. All right. Next, we had the Panthers at home against the Falcons. You and I both went with the Falcons, and once again, the Falcons have failed us.
Mhm.
I feel for the people in Atlanta. At one time I laughed at them, but now this is so ridiculous with this team. I feel bad for them. I used to always laugh at it. I hated the Falcons, but their team is so pathetic. It's just shameful.
I
I
don't
feel for their
understand
fans.
how they got 6 wins right now. Yeah, I just don't. I don't understand how they got 6 wins. They look so bad. And again, now this is another weather game. This is another weather game, but still, they played in the weather too.
Yeah, but they had a chance to win this game.
Yeah.
Desmond Ritter leads the league in turnovers in the red zone.
Mm.
And once again, he throws an interception in the red zone when they have a chance to close out the game. They had a chance to either kick the field goal to make it 10-6 or score a touchdown to put the game out of reach. Or not out of reach, it'd have been an 8-point lead, 14-6. And he throws an interception and gives life to the Panthers, and the Panthers drive down the field to kick the game-winning field goal. And now Desmond Ritter has been benched again.
Yeah, well, apparently they benched Bijan Robinson too.
They did? They benched him again? Or are you just saying because of the number of attempts he had?
Well, no, he had a fumble early in that game, he did not return
Oh
to the game.
wow.
So after that fumble, I think they benched him. I don't remember seeing him after that. I actually watched that game, and I don't remember seeing him after that game. I mean, after that fumble.
Yeah, it's something going on with that relationship between the head coach and him, and
Absolutely.
I think it's time to move on from Arthur Smith, because how do you have a player like Bijan Robinson and this guy doesn't set the world on fire? Because this is an outstanding player. I mean, he only had 10 touches in this game, 7
Yeah.
carries, 3 receptions.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
insane. No, I'm sorry. 7 carries, 1 reception.
Yeah, eight touches.
8 touches for a player like Bijan Robinson. That's insane.
Yeah, it is. I mean, if you're trying to win, you want to get your best players the
The
ball in
ball.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they chose to give Algier 14 carries.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
give him 7. And I think, like I said, after that fumble, I don't remember seeing him. He might play it again at the end of the game, at the very end, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see him for a long time. It was all Algier after that fumble.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad. I hate the Falcons, but this is pretty pathetic. It's not fun when they're stinking it up like this,
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, that's bad. But anyway, good for the
Carolina
Panthers.
was going to have another win. That was it. That was their chance. That another win.
Yep. All right. Next, we had the Rams at home against the Commanders. The Rams, you and I both went with the Rams. The Rams won this one 28-20, but it really wasn't that close. I think the Rams were actually up at one point 20-0. 21.
Yeah.
Was it 21-0? No, it was 20-0.
Yeah, they destroyed Commanders.
Yeah.
It went kind of how I thought it was. I mean, they kind of came back at the end, made it decent, but
made it respectable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think Sam Howell got benched in this game.
Yes, he did. Jacoby Brissett finished the game.
Yeah. So Rams are the Saints' next opponent. So we'll see how that turns out when we get to the picks. But yeah, the Rams look tough.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next, we had the Cardinals, your favorite team, at home against the 49ers. We both went with the 49ers, and the 49ers put up 45 points on the Cardinals. So, yeah.
They are in full effect right now.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey is actually looking like the MVP.
Yep. And, McCaffrey's or Purdy? Who's your MVP?
I give McCaffrey more credit right now than I give Purdy. They on McCaffrey back more than they on Purdy.
That's true. And when they went on that, what was it, 3-game losing streak? McCaffrey was out, right? And Purdy was really playing for it.
Yeah, you know what? I think McCaffrey missed one of those games.
Yeah, he missed 1 or 2 of those games, and Purdy was trying to carry the team and couldn't.
Yeah.
So I think that should be the difference. But like I told you before, this is a quarterback award, so they'll find a way to get it to Purdy.
Well, like we went through this already. There's been some running backs that snuck in there and won.
Yeah, they have. But we know this is a quarterback award.
Oh, it's a quarterback award for sure. But if all things being equal, that should go to McCaffrey.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I agree. Sure. Yeah, I mean, because who else would it go to? I think your boy Dak played himself out of it against the Bills.
Yeah, unless he comes with 4 touchdowns a week, these last 3, yeah, he's done.
I think he's done. Yeah, so it's between those two 49er players. So we'll see. Yep. All right. Yep. Next, as we were talking about Dak, we had the Bills at home against the Cowboys. Yeah, you talked me into picking the daggone Cowboys, and you picked the Cowboys, and the Cowboys got Cowboys got annihilated. You talked me out of it. 31-10, Cowboys got smashed.
Yep, I'm not going to go any further into that rant than I already did earlier. It seems like I talked for about 25 minutes. But no, that was just terrible. All phases of the game.
Yep.
Dak did sometimes what he does sometimes. Just flat.
Yeah, that sucks. And that hurt you guys. You had a real good chance of pulling away in this division, getting the game up on the Eagles.
Yeah, and I don't care what nobody tell me. That was a 7-6 team.
Yeah, well, now it's an 8-16.
Yeah, they should be 6. They should have been 6-7 because they should have lost to the Giants.
Well, coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Well, they struggled to beat the Giants, the team that we smashed twice. So I mean, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right. All right. Next, we had the Jags at home against the Ravens. Um, I went with the Ravens, and you made a clown pick and went with the Jags. Yep. Yep. I got right here. You got your
Yep.
name next to Jags, and I got clown.
Hey, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, Jaguars just didn't, they ain't hold up.
No, they didn't show up, but I mean, I think the Ravens are just playing really good football now, and they understand how to win. I think the biggest change that they made, and I know this is going to sound silly, well, I'll say two big changes because I can't ignore this. I think offensively, they have plays where Lamar Jackson doesn't have to improvise too much, right? There's plays where he gets the ball out of his hands and gets it to his playmakers. There's plays where he's just handing the ball off to his running back. He shouldn't have to be Superman on every play. I mean, that's just, save the special stuff for special moments. That dude shouldn't be doing special stuff on the 2nd and 3, you know? So I think that was
Yeah.
smart. Don't be Superman every play. They don't have to play hero ball every play. And then the big thing that I think that they're doing differently is simple. Stop going for it on 4th down all the time. Kick the damn field goal. You got probably a Hall of Fame kicker in Justin Tucker, and you're going for it on 4th down every daggone time. Take the points. And I think they're doing that now, and they're winning these games.
Yeah, that's a lead thing. That's the people around across the league doing that. We saw it last night, going for 4th down. I think it was about 4 downs they went for in that game, 4 or 5. That's just it's a league thing, man. People just disrespect 4th and 2. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is
I've
crazy.
never seen it this much. If you look at the stats, it's probably been more 4th down attempts than I can remember in the last 10 years.
Right. Especially when you're in field goal range.
Yes, like from the 10-yard line and from the
Yeah.
goal line, from the 2-yard line, from the 4-yard line, from the 10, from the 15. Yes, all in the red zone.
All in the red
This
zone when
4th
you
and
got
2
the
people
lead.
just going for it.
Yeah, just going for no reason. The Ravens had a problem with that for the past 2 seasons. They just kept going for it, and they would lose these close games. And it's like, well, if you'd have kicked the field goal, you had 2 opportunities to kick field goals, and you passed it up. And then you can't say it was a situation where you didn't trust your kicker because you got one of the best kickers in the league, probably a Hall of Fame kicker in Justin Tucker. So I didn't. Yeah, so I think the Ravens have finally just figured it out. Like, hey, let's not lean too much on Lamar. Let's not pass up on these points. There's going to be games like this where it's close. There's going to be games where teams are going to try to come back, but take the points. So,
yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna give them that much credit for beating the Jaguars. Let me see what they do this game this weekend, and then we give them all the tout them all these daggone credit. I've seen them be flat too. I've seen the Ravens be flat too.
don't try to defend your clown pick. Don't try to
I'm
defend
not
it.
defending. I'm not defending
Don't
my
try to.
clown pick. I took a risk. Thought that Jaguars would come out of their scoring funk that they've been in. I thought they would come out of that and play better at home. But they didn't.
Yeah.
It continued. They continued not being able to score. I mean, I'm gonna give the Ravens credit on that. They stopped them from doing the scoring. But yeah, Ravens. I mean, Lawrence is. He feel like he's almost regressing.
Yeah, well, I think he's still recovering from that injury, that leg injury he had against the Bengals.
Well, even that, it's not just that he's not doing. He's doing stupid things. Like this is the second week in a row I see him about to go down, and he tried to throw the ball, and it ended up being a fumble.
Yeah, I saw
This is
that
the
too.
second week in a
What?
row I saw him doing that. He's going down,
And he
and he
tries to.
tries to throw the ball, and the ball be out of his hand, or somebody
Yeah,
knocks it while he's trying to throw. Why are you trying to toss the ball away? You're going down. It's already a sack. What are
yeah.
you
No, I agree with you, and I think that's a young player type mistakes. He's still growing and understanding the game, and yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I
he's just doing dumb things. Like,
yeah,
what are you doing? He's having these bad turnovers in bad places.
right.
I mean, but I'm gonna get the Ravens their credit for playing defense on that.
Come
I
on,
mean, it
man. The
wasn't.
Ravens are 11-3. They already won a division, and a tough
Yeah,
division where they got 3-4 teams that hovering above at 500 or above 500, and the Ravens have already won the division. Give the
yeah.
Ravens credits. Give them the credit.
I'm gonna give, like I said, when we see him this weekend,
give them their flowers.
And I give them all the credit in the world. I don't hear no excuses.
Yeah. No, I think the Ravens are going to the Super Bowl. I truly believe that. I don't think there's a team in the AFC that can beat them. And I like the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins got a lot of flash. They'll do a lot of good things, but I think the Ravens are probably the better all-around team, and they got Superman playing quarterback. Lamar Jackson had 12 carries, 97 yards in this last game.
Okay, we'll see how super he is the next 2 weeks against the 49ers and the Dolphins.
We'll yeah, but I mean,
that's the real test.
I mean, right now, all they playing for is the number 1 seed. They already got the division. They already clinched the playoffs. Well, they're playing for the number 1 seed.
Okay, they're playing,
and it's important that they win it. So,
absolutely,
yeah. So we'll see. I think the importance is that last game against the Dolphins, or is the second last game against the Dolphins, because that's the team they're fighting for that number 1 seed with.
Yeah, I think they play. Yeah, they played the Steelers the last game.
Yeah, that's the last game.
Yeah.
So I will be watching, because this is going to be fun with the 49ers.
Oh, that's going to be one of the best Monday Night Football games we've seen.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. Ravens, Dolphins.
Yep.
To our listeners out there, be looking out for that game.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Lastly, the Monday night game. We kind of touched upon this game. The Seahawks at home against the Eagles. You and I both went with the Eagles, and I keep saying that I thought about going with the Seahawks.
I talked you in this one too, huh?
Yeah, you talked me into this one. You definitely talked me into this one.
Of course, yeah. I only talked
you. When I said the Seahawks could win this game, because I just didn't like the chances of the Eagles flying from the East Coast to the West Coast, playing at night in Seattle, 12th man. You know, it's always muggy there. It's just not a good place to play. I had a feeling, and you talked me out of it.
I tried to convince you. I said, no, Mari, put the other side.
Yeah.
That's what I did. Oh, okay. We got to read these tapes.
Yeah.
Because I think we're making history on these live broadcasts.
Matter of fact, I think I would have changed that. So I went 14-2 actually, because I did. I think
we really revisioning history now.
Yeah, I think I got to give myself credit on that, man. I think I'm gonna change that. All right, man.
But yeah, man, the Eagles, they're weltering. I mean, I said this. It was they're not looking as good as they're supposed to be. Their record says they're supposed to be. And the 3 losses they just took indicative of that.
Right.
Keep smashings, and then you lose to Seattle.
Right. Yeah, that's 3 in a row.
Yeah, you're a 5.5 point favorite.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're giving up 20 plus points in every game, the last 3 games too, while not scoring 20.
Thanks for joining us again. We do this thing every week. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.